write business books in 30 to 45 days. The market price for a ghostwritten book right now is anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000. And the market timeline is anywhere from 6 to 18 months. If you've been quoted by a ghostwriter or a publisher in the past, you've probably heard those numbers or something similar. Well, I don't charge $25,000 and I don't take even 6 months. There are 3 structural reasons that make that possible, and none of them have anything to do with writing faster than other people. Reason number 1 is the interview itself. Now, the hardest part of ghostwriting is doing 2 things at once. You have to capture the client's expertise, the content for the book, but you also have to capture the client's voice. Now, most ghostwriting projects will do this sequentially. They'll take hours of interviews to extract the content. Then they take weeks of drafts where the voice gets layered in afterward. And then you have months of revisions where the client gets to try to get the draft to sound like them. I do both in one interview, 60 to 90 minutes recorded. When you tell me a story about a client you worked with, you're giving me the content of the book, but in the way that you tell it, the words that you use, the rhythm of your sentences, the things you laugh about, you're giving me your voice at the same time. See, I write the draft from that recording and the voice is already layered in it because the source is already in your voice. The interview is most of the process. So by the time the recording stops, I have what I need to draft the book. Well, that's reason number 1. 30 to 45 days is real because the interview front loads the part that usually takes months. Reason number 2 is the cap. Now, I run 3 to 4 book projects at a time. Not 7 or 8, 3 to 4, maybe 5 if I'm busy. That cap is operational. One good book interview can take 90 minutes. Sometimes there's 2 interviews, 8 to 12 hours of drafting on my part, 15 to 25 hours of revisions, editing, design work. Times 4 projects at a time, that's the work week. Times 5, 6, 7, 8, the work starts degrading. The timeline that I promised stops being real. A traditional ghostwriter who charges $25,000 for a 9-month project, let's say, that's amortizing one book over a third of the year. They can run more projects in parallel because each one stretches longer. I amortize one book over 6 weeks. So the math forces a smaller cap on my part, and that smaller cap is what makes the calendar work. That's reason number 2, the math. The slot is real, the math is real. Reason number 3 is the writer. That's me. I've been a direct response copywriter since 2008. At the time of this recording, that means I've spent 18 years writing on deadlines for clients where the copy has to land or the client doesn't come back. Direct response copy doesn't get 6 months to breathe. It ships on Monday whether you're ready or not. And that's that writing muscle that I bring to a book. The discipline of finishing things, the pace of producing words that actually have to do something, the intuition for cutting the parts that don't earn their place. A ghostwriter who's written 1 book a year for the last decade has written 10 books. I've written several million words of high-stakes copy, plus the books that I've ghosted on top of that. The hourly output is just different. And that's reason number 3. The cap and the interview would not work without the speed. 30 to 45 days, 1 interview, 3 to 4 clients at a time. My price is a fraction of the market rate because of that math. Just think of the math. It explains why. A traditional ghostwriter at, again, $25,000 and 9 months on 1 client per slot amortizes 1 project per slot per third of a year. I amortize 1 project per slot per 6 weeks. So it's not that our rates are that much different. What changes is who absorbs the time risk. I absorb the time risk. So if that math makes sense to you and you've been quoted $20,000 plus elsewhere by a ghostwriter or publisher, shoot me a DM on LinkedIn or reply to the email that brought you to this video. Send me the word CAP and I'll send you the next steps. Thanks for watching.